Still don't know what block he from. That's stupid. And we still don't know what block this nigga. Y'all is crazy. Mickey Fax started blogging. Okay. This was once again one of the best battles. I got this as number 2 in the whole joint. Number 1 for me is Turn the Lights Off. I never been outside is fire though. All right. Can I give y'all a quick subtopic? Can I give y'all a subtopic? Anybody want a side mission real quick? Give y'all a side mission. Sometimes there's things that I address, sometimes there's things that I don't address, and there's always very legitimate reasons for it. Some that are off camera, some conversations that go good, some that go bad. Um, doesn't mean that you guys know where I stand because there's certain things you just don't say publicly, and then things are left up to assumption, and that's cool. I get it, right? I just want to say, like, even with this, I do believe in when you have a certain rapport with people, right? It doesn't have to be all out brothers or friendship, but when you have a certain rapport with somebody, you definitely don't like to kick people when they're down, but you try to handle things differently. If 6ix9ine right now does some stupid ass shit, ain't no tapping in, ain't no. I don't give a fuck about him. I don't know him. I don't care with him. I never broke bread with him. I don't have him in my graces. He's not no rapport between us. We never built. We never been on the phone. We never helped each other. Nothing. We're gonna cut this camera on and talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're not gonna give two shits about it. Okay. I want to use this as an example in this side mission subtopic. Even though this was very controversial for Goods and Jay Mills battle, I was covering every song in this back and forth, from the DNA and J Mills to the Goods and J Mills. I covered every single one except for the Ron Browse and DNA disc. When this dropped, before I covered it, I tapped in with Goods. Because when I saw it for the first time, I said, I don't know if that's going to be an effect on you or not, because business is business. You're running a business behind the scenes. You're selling a product. And I tapped in first. It's not about people. They got too much ego. They feel like I don't got to ask permission. It's about just how you are with somebody. And you're supposed to do that amongst homies or people that have good rapport. Right. So I tapped in with Goods and I asked those questions. And his response was like, nah, I don't care. All promotion is good promotion. So I was just like, okay. And that's when I covered it. And I say that little side mission because only if you guys knew without assuming the stuff that happens behind the scenes, I could take it all the way back with Audiboom, for example. There's no Audiboom gets exposed or full breakdown blog of Audiboom. I've touched on it over the years because so much time has passed. I've said things, I've referenced it over the years because so much time has passed. But in the midst of all that, people were asking me to talk. Now, if y'all remember, Adi Boom was like my, I don't want to say son disrespectfully, but he was like my little youngin. You know, I'm the guy that's running cash uh cash giveaways for him at the event doors. I'm visiting him on Christmas Eve. I'm going to prison on Christmas Eve. I'm writing him. I'm putting money on his books. I'm tapping in. I really held the guy down. I made sure as soon as he walked out, as soon as he got home, bag, battle, let's go, you're back. And Big K did that. It was so many conversations behind the scenes. And they're not public. They're not meant to be public. There's so much that happened behind the scenes that's just not meant to be public. But you guys can see where I stand. You guys can see it. you know, and there was a lot of clamoring at that time too. Where's the ARP blog for ID Boom? You guys want content. Understand that. But certain situations are dealt with privately, whether you think they go good or bad. And like with the Boom situation, for example, you see where things ended up. I told the story of me and Show Off getting into it as well. Show Off calling me one time. I could tell you two people I got into it over Boom. I didn't protect them. I just didn't blog about the situation, but I didn't protect them. Me and Uncle Ra got into it one time. Uh, as per what was told to me from the 15 Minutes of Fame side, I'm not saying Rob, but people over there I was working, shout out to 15 Minutes of Fame. Boom was using my name saying that, I'm still rocking with certain things. And I was like, that's a fucking lie. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth right now. Boom, 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 boom. But in the midst of that conversation, there was another interview that allegedly took place that never dropped, and I had an argument with Uncle Ra over it. So only time me and Uncle Ra got into it. Another scenario was me and Show Off. It was like the only time me and Show Off ever got it. Ironically, both over Boom, right? Because Boom was telling Show Off his paperwork is in the mail or something like that. And this is after all, I'm waiting for COVID and months to pass and all this shit. And Show called me with the good news because Show was ride or die for his homie Boom until he got to the end where he saw what he needed to see. And then that's when Show went on 15 Minutes of Fame and he was just like, I'm disassociating, I don't fuck with him, yada, 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 yada. But before that, Show was doing what he was supposed to do, giving his brother the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Show calls me one day. He's like, yo, the paperwork is in the mail. I was just like, that ain't for me. I'm cool. I've made my decision. I'm over here. And Show Off contested that. And one of the things he said to me, he was just like, so why you still got his battles up then if that's where you stand? And my response to him was, I'm not trying to erase the past. The things that I did with Boom, the work that we did together, the blogs of me going to visit him while he's locked up and all that, I stand on all that. Right. But as far as it's the after, what do you do after? I don't need to start taking battles down and all that type of stuff. Like his battle versus JC, his battle versus Averb, his battle versus this person. I don't have any problems with those battles. So we argued. And his thing was like more so like, you should be standing up for Boom right now. And I told him all the things that I knew that maybe he didn't know. Some of the conversations, some of the text messages, some of the other people that was involved and whatnot. Even Ice was in in a chapter of that, whether he remembers or not. Some things that went to Ice. I mean, Ice got on the phone. I was like, yeah, this bullshit came your way too. And Ice was like, yeah, there's a lot that y'all just don't know about that situation. But after I told Show Off all the stuff that I knew, Show Off, he fell back and then he observed more instead of just playing like, nah, I gotta hold it down. Like that's just part of being loyal. He started to observe more. And then when he started seeing more and more and more and understanding more and more and more, then you see the position that he took. So that's all in private. But quick side mission that I mentioned, like you guys just never know what happens behind the scenes or the conversations that happen behind the scenes. I tapped in with Goods about this. All right. Anyway, um, once again, so this is like saying the old school pioneer guys, the J Mills, the Murder Mook, the Lux, Cassidy's, all had big news, great showings, all of that in 2025. That is true. That is very, very true.